So we're live. Welcome to this webcast about fixed intelligent cameras from Bosch. I just assume that every one of you got the invitation, because otherwise you wouldn't be here with all the information. So this is the way we will handle it. We will send out invitations to you all. In that invitation there is a schedule with some nice links and some useful information, and also a way to register on our website if you would like to have more information. Because some of the information provided in these webcasts will only be there if you are either registering to the website or if you're contacting your local representative, your contact person that is in charge of Bosch products. They can also help you with that. You don't need to be in that scary registration phase of a website. You can also contact a real live person. That is a little bit about the schedule for these webcasts. You will see the upcoming 4 weeks. Later on in the presentation, you will see some nice red markers where we have dedicated webcasts or webinars planned for those products. Since this is quite a general presentation, I will not go into details in general, perhaps a little bit on a few topics, but if you're interested in these products or solutions or features, please join those webcasts to see a bit more about those in detail. I will also come back to this information later on where we're ending up and wrapping up this seminar. You are also free to ask questions in the chat during the time. I will have Roger or Jimmy or Petra helping me out here to read out the questions if possible. If it becomes too many questions, we will kind of mute the chat and get back to the question and answers later on after the session. Hope that's okay for you. So we will start. Fixed cameras with intelligence. That is what we're about to cover today. What you can see here is that we have a couple of different series of cameras. I think it's pretty good, the number of series we have today. It's not too many and it's not too few, and I think with these form factors and these cameras we're covering most of the market today. You see that we start with something we call the 3000i series, going a bit higher into the 4,000 and 5,000 series, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, and even 9,000 series of cameras. You should be aware of it doesn't really mean that the 3000 series camera have a less good picture or image quality than the 9,000 series cameras. It's all about the feature set and the value the product is adding into the market that's made us choose these different numberings for the cameras. One other thing you might see in this presentation slide is the differentiation between essential video analytics and intelligent video analytics. That will be covered in different sessions later on this month, but I will also mention it today. If I then jump into a few of the pillars that we as Bosch always are using when it comes to referring to our products, it's the image quality first of all. We have been known for good image quality in many, many years, and that's also our future, to try to create and develop products that has really good image performance quality. Things like the Starlight technology, that is something that we have been using for many years, that is giving you a camera of really good image performance in low light situations. We're also having cameras with extremely good HDR, high dynamic range, or VDR as somebody's calling it, to see image and details in different type of image situations and backlight environment as well. We are able to produce quite a lot of frames per second to be able to capture the most of the images in different environments. And we also have the cameras in several different form factors, going from pretty much today 1080p up to 4K. Perhaps not unique when it comes to the form factors, the image quality thing, different marketing names for different low light technologies, but we have been doing this for a long time and we're continuing to do this, and this is our background and this is our future, how to generate and create good cameras. What you also need to take into consideration when you make a good camera, when you have increased the pixel count and increased the information, you also need to be able to do this at the relevant and reasonable bitrate. That is also something we have developed and invested highly in the last years, where we today are proud to say that we can reduce up to approximately 80% of the bitrate compared to previous series without tampering and taking away the image quality. Because it's pretty simple to reduce bitrate, but it's really hard to do it without interacting and interfering with your image quality. So this is something that really makes a difference when it comes to Bosch products. So bitrate management is something we're also focusing on. And when we have created all this data, all this information, we need to keep it secure. And it's not just about the video information, that of course is really essential to keep it clear and to keep it safe and secure, but it's also about the added data that I will mention very soon. And we do this by adding and using hardware components in our cameras. And that has been done for 5 years back to actually put all the most secure and the most vulnerable parts we're doing in the hardware today. So we're using this TPM module, creating, for example, the encryption parts. We're keeping some of the keys in there, the certificate handling. It's really done in a highly secured way with the use of business standards. It's not just the Bosch idea on how to do data and cybersecurity. It's also about the possibility how the market is using this from a cybersecurity point of view. And we are adapting and we are changing the way we are implementing data security measures, listening to the cybersecurity and data security people and not just Bosch people. So it's really important. But perhaps when people ask you about the Bosch camera, what is the most and commonly used USP you are using when you're talking about the camera? What is the customer's need and what are they asking for when it's a Bosch camera? My first simple and probably because it's correct answer would be video intelligence and video analytics. One reason might be that we started to do this quite a long time ago. We have had built-in artificial intelligence in the cameras actually since 2016. We are today showing you a few of the ways how we are handling this. And one thing that will be part of another webcast later on will be the camera trainer, where we have added the real machine learning into the Bosch cameras as we have today. And then the news, what will happen, and future is coming in July. Then we will have the built-in hardware performance to actually have neural networks in the cameras. We will be launching the Inteox camera series that has completely new hardware, completely new platform and infrastructure to build business intelligence, to build secure stuff, to use the hardware built in to actually have artificial intelligence built in the camera in the same way as you can have in a computer today, or in a network, or in the cloud. But I would like to take a couple of different steps back in time perhaps, but perhaps back a slide in the presentation. The ones of you who is not familiar with Bosch Video Analytics, we're doing it completely at the edge. All metadata is being generated into the camera. It's also the setting up in the camera where we make the decision if this metadata will generate an alarm or an event, or if it just will be considered as anything else. This metadata is then later on sent into the network together with a video stream to be able to be stored on a storage device, preferably iSCSI, or in a third-party solution that has the support of the Bosch metadata search, to be able to be either viewed as an operator for a live alarm or to be searched as forensic search. This is something I would like to tell you a little bit more about in detail of how we do this. And to do that, I would like to show you a quick clip about how we are considering metadata. Because metadata today might be something that we as a manufacturer have decided to classify a person as a specific object, or a bicycle, or a car, or a train, or whatever we has classified the object to be. But it's also the speed, the direction, the size, the color, the GPS position, whatever we as a manufacturer have decided to generate as metadata. And that means that you can create alarms out of everything that is generated by metadata. But it also makes you search for that information even if you decided to not make an alarm out of it initially. So for example, if you have decided to make a specific alarm about if a car is going in a specific direction, and if that car is white and apparently is going to hit the guy in black, and that should be an alarm, yes, you can program it. But later on, you would like to search for how many red cars have been parked in this specific area. Even if you didn't know what was going to happen in advance, you can always search for that afterwards since you have all the metadata available in the recordings. So those are a bit of the fundamentals when it comes to video analytics, about the metadata and what to do about it. So first slide, I show you a couple of different cameras with essential and intelligent video analytics. What's the difference? Okay, I will be a bit frank here. Video analytics is highly depending on about hardware performance. If we add more hardware components, better performance, more horsepower, so we can make better analytics. So what we have is in the essential analytics, we're able to do the standard type of analytics. It has a certain type of reach, it's a certain type of robustness into environmental structures, and that is how we consider it as an essential analytics in sterile environments that you can use every day. If you would like to take the next step, we're adding one component in the camera. We hardware boost the camera to become even more robust against the environment, about shaking, go longer distances. You can really add more stuff when you add the extra components. And what we have in addition to that one is that we have generated something, as I mentioned, called machine learning and camera trainer. We can train a camera today on a specific object that is different from what we as Bosch have decided to have the camera trained on. So you as a user can make up your own objects that you would like the camera to detect. It could be parked cars, it could be coffee cup with a logo from Bosch, it could be an icicle, it could be a barrier, it could be any kind of thing that you would like to train the camera on. It's not up to Bosch to do this, it's you as a user who decide what you would like the camera to make the alarm on. This will all be in a separate session, both the essential and intelligent video analytics and also the camera training part that we will show more in detail how to set it up and what to expect out of it. During the time, before you learn more about the Bosch analytics, I would just like to give you the opportunity to see this really nice piece of PowerPoint. No, it's a PDF. It's a clickable PDF that has a lot of different types of analytic videos examples, all being recorded by real cameras, by the real analytics, and you can use this one to get an information about what you can expect out of, for example, essential analytics when it's parking zones, loitering, left objects, counting, and we also put them into some environments where we think they are used in the real life. So we have also essential analytics in parameter protection that might be for you a bit strange because it's essential, but anyway, today it's good enough in sterile zones to use essential analytics for parameter protection. We also have some examples about intelligent analytics, and we also have some metadata fusion when we're using thermal cameras. So if you would like to use this PDF file with the embedded video clips, just contact us, register on the website, and you will be directed to a place where you can find this PDF. It's a really nice tool, and you have good value in that one. I would now like to go over and have a little bit more about the products again. Because since we will do the other webcast in detail, I can still tell you a little bit about the products. So 3009, it's our entry-level series, but this camera is really awesome. It's actually a bit too good when you compare it to some of the other ones in our series. It's an entry-level camera. It comes in 1080p resolution, 5 megapixel for indoor and outdoor use. It has AVF lenses or fixed lenses. It has built-in infrared illumination. It has essential analytics. There is no more pigtail. It comes with VDR/HDR performance. It's really good cameras, and they're also generating metadata. So you can use them for any kind of applications where metadata is needed. I will not go in too much more into details because I have 30 more minutes allocated for this one at the other date. I said that those cameras are really, really good, perhaps a bit too good. We also have the 4 and 5000 series. If you need a little bit longer distance in the infrared illumination, if you need a little bit more horsepower, you can take one more step up to the 4 and 5000 series. I just would like to make one small remark here, and that's for the Dinion Box and the Dinion Bullet, the 6000 series. They don't have an eye, but I still consider them to be intelligent, but they don't have H.265 streaming capabilities in those two cameras. But still, it's cameras with intelligence and the possibility to use essential analytics. Now, I might have been talking about the 7000 series cameras, but I will not. I will go directly into the 8000 series cameras, because these are the obvious and self-explaining successor for the 7000 series. They will also be completely covered in a separate session, but here we talk about the most high-performance intelligent video analytics camera. It's fully remotely commissionable. It is PTR set, so you can do all the settings of the camera completely on distance. It has Wi-Fi interface if you would like to do it for commissioning. It has the dual SD card support, so you can have 2 SD cards in it, and it's really robust, and it's capable of doing a lot of images per second, also at high frame rates and with good performance in VDR scenes and HDR scenes. So this is probably the camera where we see the most takeover from the 7000 series today, since it's outperforming, similar in price, and has much more features. If you need specific products for specific solutions, like for example our in-store analytics, you might use the Bosch Panoramix. Comes in 3 different form factors: in ceiling, standard, and outdoor environments. It's a perfect match if you would like to do counting and object classification at the same time. You can have one product, one camera, being able to do both security and business intelligence at the same time. 12 megapixel resolution, IVA, intelligent video analytics, several different types of solutions and cloud-based solutions to do this business intelligence. It's really a product that is suited for finding new markets, also incorporating metadata in a very, very nice way. One product that I am especially fond of is the Dinion IP Thermal 8000. This is the product that probably, if I compare this one to my colleagues in the rest of the world, we have the biggest penetration in the market of this Dinion camera. Why? It's a perfect camera for catching a thief with a camera in really hostile environments. This product has been used in so many projects around in the Nordic region, where we're doing perimeter protection at long distances over really, really harsh environments 24/7 year-round. What you also can see, if you download this presentation through the links, you can also see the distances we're able to cover with the different lens options. We can really go long distances and to be able to act with high accuracy, to be able to do intelligent video analytics at long distance. To show you a little bit of what I mean is, I have on the left side a standard Bosch IVA camera, and on the right side a thermal one. They are both seeing the object at the same time, but within the thermal camera you're actually able to detect this guy at 367 meters. With the standard camera it takes a few more meters until he is detected. Also, one thing you should be aware of when it comes to thermal cameras, they are also cameras looking at some kind of wavelength spectrum. So in certain environments, if you have heavily snow, rain like crazy, and you cannot even see your hand in front of yourself, the camera, even if it's a thermal camera, will have issues to making the analytics on a long distance. So then you will have limited distance, but still it will be much better than a normal camera. So the Dinion 8000 Thermal is really one of the most successful cameras we have in the Nordic region when it comes to camera sales. If you would like to have a little bit specific camera and it doesn't really manage with the panoramic one, if you need multi-sensor camera, we're also supplying the Sony multi-sensor camera. We have it in the Bosch price list, and for the ones of you who's used to that one, you will find it there as well. This one will be continued as a Sony product the year out, and we will continue to have this for many more years in a similar approach. Usually it's connected to either a BVMS or a Milestone or a Genetec or a third-party software, and we have several different instructions on how to use it in those softwares as well. So this is a nice add-on to the product portfolio that we haven't had before. That's the Sony Multisensor camera. If I get away a bit from the cameras, and I would not like to spoil this one, but I would like to mention it as a teaser. I will spend a few minutes on the remote portal and another nice software I have together with it. And it's the remote portal. Remote portal has been around for quite a while. It is one of the solutions where we are connecting a lot of different cameras to one solution for a user to get nice and simple way of setting up stuff that he or she or anybody would like to use from distance remotely. It's a solution where you can get maintenance information, health informations, and events if something is starting to become strange in your product. It's also a solution for maintaining and commissioning your products on site without traveling. It is using technology to make it really secure and simple. But we're also putting a lot of focus on how to use this as a tool for the future upcoming cameras, where you will be able to upload customized specific apps to a Bosch camera in the future. This will be done by the remote portal. So that's also one of the reasons for us to more actively start pushing for it now. If you have an end user or somebody who would like to watch the recorded video, live video, and to do some forensic search, they can also use the specific dedicated software together with remote portal that is called Bosch Video Security Client that can be completely commissioned, set up, and administrated by the remote portal. And now I would like to tell you a bit of a secret. And perhaps it's not a secret, but it's since we within Bosch hardly knows what the project assistant tool is, I consider it to be a secret. It's an official secret. This is a really nice and simple tool to set up a project, pre-configure cameras, make a simple installation, simple documentation, and an easy way of getting the structure and the process of a camera installation to become leaner, slicker, cheaper, and quicker. What we're also doing now is that we're combining the remote portal and the assistant tool to come together and to merge them with connectivity to make it even simpler. And I will show this by demonstrating a video clip, and I will try to talk over it at the same time as the text is running. As you see, we have version 1.4, so apparently that has been at least three different versions before it. This is a tool to be able to create projects. It can be one camera, it can be 255 cameras, and it's just a way of combining the cameras. And if you have common information and common stuff you would like to have in the project, it's so easy to install them here. And you also have the cloud connectivity. So first of all, you usually is creating a project and putting a understandable name on it. And as always within Bosch, we urge you to use passwords, to use it in a secure and safe way. This is just for the software. So if you're installing it or if you're sharing it with another one, they also need to have this password to be able to use the actual configuration file. Because as soon as you start sharing information between each other, you need to have it secure. When you have created a project, you start adding information that is general or in common for all the other products in the same project. I will later on show you very shortly here how it can be done, how you add cameras into the system, but it's very simple and there are different ways to doing this. First step, here you can actually add the connectivity to the remote portal and add the account that should be responsible for this specific project. It can be 1 camera, 10 cameras, as I said, 255 cameras. But this is the administrative link for the one who is going to use the project. And of course, you need to set a password for it. Now we come to a bit more related stuff to the passwords for the cameras. If you add them now, they will be the standard default passwords for the cameras you add into this project in a very simple way. You don't need to sit there and add the same passwords over and over again. You do it once, and as soon as you add a camera into this project, it will automatically get this information. Same goes with network. Would you like to use DHCP, or would you like to put manual IP addresses on them? Either you can sit there camera by camera, or you can add a range of IP addresses if you would know this in advance. Also makes things much simpler and much easier. So depending on if you're a system integrator, if you're a IT manager at an end user, or if you are a distributor, you can start to see that there will be things here that will simplify the complete chain. You should also time synchronize your cameras, because it's really important to have good and direct and correct time. Now you have done the first basic settings of a camera that should belong to this project. Now we need to find a camera to put into the project. We have several different ways of doing that. You can scan the network, you can type an IP address, you can use a MAC address, or you can actually just scan a QR code. What you can see is the default information comes here automatically, and the only thing you have to do is to put the right and correct name on the product. There is actually one more way of adding cameras that is really nice, and you can take an Excel file and actually copy and paste the complete Excel file into the project assistant tool, and you have everything there. So if you have black belt in Excel and would like to use that one, there is nobody stopping you. You can also import an Excel file directly into the tool to have it done. Next step is that you can do the first simple and initial camera settings by this tool. So it will take you a short while. You set up the focus, the field of view. You can also do the alignment. And if you would like to, you can open up the web browser to do all settings you would like to. In the remote portal session Jimmy will be doing later, we will show you how you can also connect this to Configuration Manager if you would like to have the full-blown technical possibility to do this with the Bosch software. We skipped the actual connecting to the remote portal. We did do the settings, what should be available for the project. What we would like to do now is to register the camera so it's activated, because previously we just put in the information. Going to the third step in the wizard, we're able to directly from this tool have the camera connected, registered, and tested. What you do here is probably just activate the camera. Information is already provided, and what you have to do is to register. The process is really quick, and a few seconds after you started this, you can log into your remote portal account and see that your product, your camera, is now being able to be reached in the remote portal. It's part of the project building number 1, and you can now also access it remotely. So with this tool, the simple and easy to use project assistant and the new connectivity with the remote portal, you have the ability to start doing much smarter plannings when it comes to your camera installations. You're also able to reach the camera on distance. You can reach it remotely, and you can get health and maintenance events from the camera. This presentation and this video clip perhaps became a bit longer than I was planning, but I like it so much, so I thought I would give it as a teaser for you to sign up for the webcast we will be doing with both the Project Assistant tool and the remote portal, because these two tools are nice tools to make a better total cost of ownership for the end user, lower cost for the system integrator, and an easier handling for the distributor. So I think it's really important to look at them together with the products as a complete tool set. That was pretty much what I had planned today. Information will be here provided afterwards with the links. The schedule will be here as well, so you can see it. If you don't want to go into our website, please contact your local contact person for Bosch product. They will help you. And saying that is thank you from all of us here in Kista, and thank you that you joined us, and hopefully I will see you soon in a webcast near to you. Bye.